Everyone, thanks for joining this webinar by Aatmunn. This is mainly to show you guys what our new platform is looking like and how it is going so far. As of now, everyone has Safety Inspection Manager. We are currently in the process of switching you guys over into Inspection by Aatmunn is going to be the name of it. And the reason for this is it's going to be a more connected platform, easier to use, and to be able to build it for scale. So there's going to be a nice scalability to it. Pretty much what it is all of our software solutions we're moving onto one platform, ranging from our inspections, geofencing, lone worker, and just safety in general are just all going to be in one place now. Like I said, we're switching from Safety Inspection Manager, and it's going to be called Inspection by Aatmunn. Everything's going to be the same as far as the functionality of it. It's just going to be looking a little more sleek and different compared to the old version of it. But I think everyone will enjoy this new version and the way it looks. And now I'm just going to switch it over to Christy Talley. She's going to be leading the demo for this, and she will be able to go over everything for you. And if you have any questions or anything like that, just feel free to raise them in the chat or just speak up. Christy, over to you.
Hello. Hi, Scott. Thank you very much for joining. Let me see here. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Can you guys see my screen?
I can see it, Christy.
Yes.
Okay. What we are looking at first is we are looking at the Safety Inspection Manager mobile app redesign. As you are looking at this window, the first thing I want to draw your attention to is the very top right corner. You're going to notice where it says field user. And that's because I am viewing the mobile app as a field user. In 1.0, you have one view, but in 2.0, you have two views. On the right-hand side, you'll notice there's a little picture. And that's because you can actually associate a photo with a person who is a user or even a worker in the system. So this is the field user view, but right now I'm just going to switch really quick to my my supervisor view. So when I go to my supervisor view, you'll notice now I have a dashboard that's similar to the dashboard that's on the web portal. So here from this dashboard, maybe I want to see what the open issues are. I can tap on this that little widget there, and now I can see the open issues, and I can actually change the dates here as well. Same thing for forms to do. When I tap here, this is actually going to bring me to all of the forms that are open and need to be completed. So I'm going to go back to my field user view. Back in the field user view, you're going to notice at the very top, first thing, no more 3 tiles, but you're going to notice that there's the ability to add shortcuts. So I have said for myself, I typically do product inspections and I do fit testing, but for any user, they can come in and they can tap edit, they can remove their favorites, and they can change them at any time. So they can go in and they could say, these are the 2 things that I do most often, and save, and those things are brought right to the top. Also, what you're going to notice is there's a few little different terms here. You're going to notice the word forms. Forms just replaces the word checklist, so everything now in the system is considered to be a form. So if I want to look at forms to do, that is your current task list. All you have to do is tap there and open it, and now you're looking at everything that is coming due. You can look at it by all. You could say you only want to view product inspections, workers, or areas. You have the ability to go in here and change things to see the view that you want. Next tile is issues. On the mobile app right now, issues are kind of hidden in the task menu, but they're already going to be here open in issues tab. When you click here, you can view all of the issues. You can also sort by issues. You just tap on the issue to open it. And now you're within the issue where you can change your priority, set a status, add photos and notes right here from the mobile app. Some of the things are going to be pretty much the same. Add to inventory is what you're used to. You're used to using commission, but you would use add to inventory, and the workflow is pretty much the same. However, one thing that's going to be different in 2.0 is that you can add multiple identifiers with one piece of equipment. So now it's not just like, you know, one piece of equipment has either an RFID tag, a barcode, or a manual identifier. You can have all 3 if you'd like. I'm going to go ahead and just commission or add a piece of equipment to my inventory. First thing, I'm going to select my manufacturer. I'm going to select my product type. And you'll notice what I'm doing is I'm actually whittling down that list so I don't see so many pieces of equipment here. I'm going to scan an RFID tag as an identifier, but I also want to add a manual identifier. So I'm just going to add something manual. The serial number here, you can use, if you're using multiple identifiers, you have the ability to select which identifier you want to use as a serial number, or you can enter a custom serial number. I'm just going to use my manual ID as a serial number. Then I'm going to select my location. I will say it's in the closet shelving and tap complete. Now I've added this piece of equipment to my inventory. As in 1.0, I can select OK to end the process, or I can tap add another to add another piece of equipment. So that process is pretty much the same. Assigning equipment to a worker or to a location, you just tap assign. There's not two separate assign to location, assign to worker, because you can do both within this tile. Excuse me. So if I wanted to assign a user to a piece of equipment, now all I have to do is type in the user's name, select the person, and scan the equipment. Assign now, and the assignment's done. So it's just pretty much the same process. One thing that also is different in 2.0 is that you can actually assign or create an issue that is independent of an inspection by tapping create issue. Here, again, it's independent of an inspection. All you have to do is complete the fields with a red asterisk. That's what's required, and you can open an issue. So I could say like pallets, door. I can give my issue a priority, a status. I can select a due date, give it a name. And from the mobile app, I can also assign this issue to one of my users for completion. If I wanted to, I could add photos. But once I tap create issue, I have created an issue independent of an inspection. Completing a checklist. No, remember there's no longer the word checklist, it's called forms, and that's done by tapping execute form. And then every type of inspection or checklist or audit that you can do is all going to be housed in one place. So you'll see everything represented instead of the three tiles. Then you'll just tap product inspection, and scan your identifier, can enter the manual ID or scan the barcode, can see my inspection here, tells me what I'm doing, when the due date is, how often it's done. If it was assigned to a person, I'm also going to see the name of the person who this inspection is assigned to, and tap to open. As I move through the inspection, same process of tapping the response. You're going to notice here I have the options of true, false, which we don't have in 1.0 today. So we have true, false, yes, no, pass, fail. Those things are the same. And then you'll notice there's the same flag. We have the ability to require photos, so that's why you're going to see add photos there. And I just move through my inspection as I typically would. I can enter notes, add photos, do my result, pass or fail. There is the ability now to require your inspectors to actually do a liquid signature. So I can sign and complete. And once I'm done, I just tap OK. There's no requirement to do a second scan. One other thing you're going to notice is there is no sync button on the mobile app. That's because it is continually syncing when you are actually online, so you don't have to do a sync. Another great thing about the new 2.0 version, if you notice at the bottom right-hand corner, there is a More button. When you tap More and Manage, you have the ability to manage things from your side menu that you did not have on the 1.0 version. And one of them is your product inventory. So when you tap product inventory, you are seeing your entire inventory listed here. You can search by the name, serial number, or unique ID, but you can tap to open a record and you can make edits. So if you have commissioned a piece of equipment and you selected the wrong product model or something like that, you can tap edit here and you can make the changes here. You can also decide if you want to maybe remove a barcode or an RFID tag, or if you want to even add a barcode or RFID tag. You can do this here after the fact. Let me see here. I'm going to add a barcode to this piece of equipment. And then all I have to do is tap scan barcode. And now I've just added a barcode as well as my RFID tag and my manual ID. Also at the very bottom where there is assignments, you can actually remove the assignment of a user. You can change the area or location here as well, and then save changes. And I've just made the changes here. So now I have all three identifier types being used. Another thing that's new to 2.0 is the users. You can come here if you have a new person that's come on staff and they're coming out to the floor, they weren't added to the system. You can see all of your users where you can open their records. Oops, sorry guys. Can you guys still see my screen?
Yes, I can
Yeah.
see it.
Okay. That's weird. Give me 1 second because I can't see my screen. Okay, we're just going to keep on going here. So here you can come to one of your users or your workers' records, you can open it and you can tap edit and you can make changes, but you can also create a worker or user right from the mobile app just by tapping create. You come here, you can fill in the fields with a red asterisk and save that worker record, and they're already in there. I'm sorry, worker or user. You'll notice at the very top where there's that little kind of person outline, you can go there and you can attach a picture to that person's record. Using the identifier, that will actually allow you to scan a tag or barcode or RFID tag, and you can then manage that identifier. You can come in again. You can maybe take away an RFID tag or add a manual ID or barcode. All right, can you guys see my screen now?
Yes, Christy. Yep.
What we are looking at right now is we are looking at the Safety Inspection Manager, the new version of the web portal. When you log in, you're going to be brought to this dashboard. This dashboard works the same as the dashboard that you currently see in the system today. All of these widgets are interactive. They have a date span, which you can select, and you can come in and you can click on anything and be redirected to that place. One thing that is different here is that when you're looking at this is your forms to do, you can now see things that have been paused. In 1.0, you have the ability to pause an inspection, but no one actually knows what has been paused. Only the person who is completing that inspection or who has initiated it knows that they've paused an inspection. However, here, you can come click here and you can see those paused inspections. Right here on the web portal, you can also view them on the mobile app when you're looking at your forms to do. When you come in, when you click anything from that actual dashboard and you're redirected, now you're in the main system. Here in forms, you can see organization forms, forms to do, and forms results. We'll start with organization forms. These are all the forms that are created in this demo environment. Right-hand corner is where you create a form. If I come in here and select create, then you're going to see all of the different form types. If I wanted to do maybe a product inspection, all I have to do is click the tile. I can choose from the form library as we do today and import it, or I can start from the beginning. I can come in here and create a form inspection. I am going to do, I'll do a fire extinguisher. Again, it works the same way pretty much. I have to select my product models from here. I can select my product types, my product models. It can be one, it can be multiples, just as it is today. I can, same thing, apply to all areas, apply to specific areas. Today, you can actually put in a form description if you'd like. You have the ability to enable the inspector's signature. So if you click on this box, they are required to provide a liquid signature. And then you have the ability to enable your overall assessment, and that's your pass all. And you can also add reference files to an inspection. At the bottom, I'm going to select next, and then I'm going to select my time frame. On demand, and these all work the same as they did in 1.0. You can select on demand, one time or recurring. I'll make this on demand. Going to select next, and now I'm into the actual creation part. It looks a little bit different. The workflow is the same. You're going to create your first category. Select the checkbox. You're going to select your question type. They are the same with the exception of we have instruction block. Instruction block just allows you to actually give an instruction instead of having with just an instruction, not where it's actually requiring you to put that like no response required. Simply an instruction block. There's no response needed. So I could put in like, yeah, something like that. If I want to add a question, I'm just selecting add a question. Again, you're going to select your question type, and we also have multiple choice. You have a drop down now, but when you select when you do a drop down question in 1.0, you can only have one response. But here, when you select multiple choice, you will notice that you have your response groups, but you can also select single response or multiple response. So if you want them to, maybe it's like a first aid kit inspection, and you want them to check the things maybe that aren't in the first aid kit, they can actually just select multiple options. We also have the ability to do true, false. And then you also have your pass, fail, and yes, no. And I bring this up because in today's Safety Inspection Manager, the only question that can trigger this require an issue to be created or fail entire checklist is pass, fail. But in today's 2.0, it will trigger on true, false, or yes, no. So you enter your question. You can also select add question from library, and here you get a library of all of your questions. So you can come in here and maybe you're looking for a specific question and see if there's a question about labels. I can select it and do add question, and it's automatically populated there. Can make the question required. I can also require an image. When you require an image, the inspector cannot get beyond the inspection until they actually take an image at this question. You can still add files, or you can do pictures or files to your questions. You'll notice right here you have add nested question. That's for adding your nested questions as you do today. And when you add more questions, instead of seeing this long, huge list, what is above it collapses, so you don't have to like scroll. You can also come and you can move questions up or down. You can create duplicate questions, and you can delete a question if you don't like it. In the 2.0 version, you also have the ability to save your progress. So just in case you're worried about losing your work, and you can save and exit. If you save and exit your inspection, what you're doing is you're creating kind of like a pending inspection. It's not sent down to the mobile app until you actually publish that inspection. So I'm just going to go next here. When you're in this view, when you're at the end of creating your inspection, you have like a little synopsis here on the left-hand side with the details, but you also have the ability to see what the inspection will look like to your inspectors. So before you get done, or before you actually publish it, you can see it as they will see it. And when I select publish, now it's being sent down to the mobile app, and those folks can see it. From forms to do, this is what you're typically looking at when you're looking at your task menu. This just lists all of the forms that need to be completed by their name, form type, the model, the area. If you want to assign an inspection to a specific person, you just click on the little ellipsis, select assign to, and you can pick your user to assign it. You can also filter on this page by any of these parameters, and you still have the ability to export the data to Excel from this table and any of the tables in the system. From form results, this is going to combine all area, all worker, all equipment. And here you will notice immediately anything that is missed is going to be in red to draw your eyes to that inspection. You have the same data, the name of the inspection, the type, the result. If it was on time, you will see that it's on time, or if it's late. Again, you can filter by date, search by name. You have a filter option at the top, so you can filter by any of these parameters, and you can export the data right here. When we move up to manage entities, here's where you're going to go if you want to view maybe your open issues. Now, I showed you guys on the mobile app how you can actually create an issue independent of an inspection from the issues tile. You can do that same thing here from the web portal. So if you wanted to come in here, maybe you saw something earlier in the day, all you have to do is come in here and select create. You're going to fill in the field with red asterisks. Everything else is optional, and select save, and you will be creating an issue that is independent of an inspection. When you are viewing an issue in today's version of the Safety Inspection Manager, once the issue is created, the only option you actually have is to resolve it. You cannot add additional photos after the fact. You can resolve it and you can add notes. But here in 2.0, you can actually come in and you can add photos after the fact. You can change the status here. You can change the priority. And of course, you can always add notes. On this page and any page, you're always going to see a little last update, and it's going to tell you, the date it was last updated, who did it. Also here you have the created date and created by at the very bottom. If you want to select anything to edit in the system, you're going to have an edit at the top of the page. That's going to unlock everything. However, if you want to select something or you want to edit something very specific, you can just select the little pen tool in that field, and you can change it. This is going to be your issues. Product inventory is going to be your complete inventory, just like you have in the system today. One thing that is different in 2.0 is that you can actually add equipment to your inventory without scanning the tag. However, you have to use a manual identifier when you select create. This is just like commissioning or adding to inventory from the web portal. You come here, select the fields with a red asterisk, and go here. I can say I'm doing a fire extinguisher, give it a serial number. Right here, the very bottom, I want to give mine a manual ID as well. I'll make it the same. From the web portal, you can also do your assignment. So you can assign equipment to people right from the web portal. You can also assign a specific location right from the web portal and select save. And now the minute that I've added this, it's being sent down to the mobile app. And then my mobile users, they could open that record from product inventory and they could add an RFID tag or they could add a barcode. And again, you can come in here and you can export the data to Excel. Product models, this is the same as the product models that you're used to seeing today. The only difference here, well, one of the only differences here is that you don't see all of the preloaded equipment. You are seeing only what you actually use here. If you want to, that preloaded or that recommended catalog, when you want to bring things in from that catalog, all you have to do is select from catalog, select your manufacturer. Then you're going to see all of the preloaded equipment. You can select anything here. And when you select import, now it becomes part of that, what you're used to seeing as your My Company catalog. And it's going to be visible here. If you need to create something that's not part of that preloaded equipment, all you have to do is select create. And you're going to create your product model. Now you're used to seeing a manufacturer's little section as well. Here we don't have that. If your manufacturer is not listed, you can actually add the manufacturer from this page. And once you create that manufacturer, then it becomes available to everyone who is actually creating product models. I'm going to actually go back and create this product model. I will do an Amerex. I'm going to do, oops. This is all the same as what you're used to today. So I'm going to give it a name. You can give it a description. Right here, I can add a form. So this is what I'm used to seeing today. I can add the form here. I can also drop and drag reference files here at the bottom. And I forgot at the top, when you select the little camera, you can add a picture. And that's what you're used to today. And now once I select save, I've created my model. Again, at the bottom, you can see who created it, when they created it, or if they even updated the model. It's right here at the bottom. When you go to the users tile here, we don't have a separation between users and workers in the sense that you're used to in the traditional 1.0 version. Everyone is considered a user, but then you have different user types. So the user type that is user, that means that they have access to the system in some way, shape, or form based on the role that you give them. And then you have workers. Workers are traditionally what you're used to seeing as someone who's in the system because you want to actually assign equipment to them or complete worker training events or something like that. So that's the worker type or the user type of worker. One great thing that a lot of people have asked for is the ability to actually do that assignment from this tile or from the web portal. So when I click on this worker record, and you'll notice at the very bottom is assignments. So maybe I wanted to assign Matthew Hogan a piece of equipment. I can select edit here and unlock everything, or I can select edit at the very bottom and I can come in and I can just assign this person a harness. If I could spell. So here I see the model with the serial number. I can select it, save changes, and it's done. Also, in the 2.0 version, you can actually assign people to places here in the system. So I'm saying that Matt works in room 7, but also he also works on a specific construction site. He works at the Mall of America. So now I've assigned him to 2 areas. So you know exactly where that person works. You can come in here and you can filter by workers and users, active or inactive. And again, you can download to Excel. Here you can actually select different filter options. When you go to user roles, these are all of the different roles you guys are used to seeing. Maybe about, I think it's like 8 roles in the system. Here you can come in. We're going to bring in the roles that you have in your system right now, but you can come in and you can create your own user roles here by selecting create and create a new role, or you can duplicate a role and then add or remove things from it. So if I want to create a new role, I can come in here and I can say, maybe give it a description and select next. From here, now I have the different permission options. I can come in here and I can say, maybe I don't want this person, I don't want them creating users because they only do inspections. They can't update any of this. They can't do any of these things. Well, they can do the forms. They can't do issues. They can't create orgs. I'm going to let them do products actually. Next, so I've said they can do, this is the application I'm giving them, to inspections. And here I can actually select what dashboards I want that person to see. The application dashboard, when that is set, that's where they have that view on the mobile app when they're seeing it as like a system admin or they're seeing it as a supervisor. And the field user, that's where they're only going to see that field user tile. Select next, and now I can see everything that the person can do and select create role. And now I've created a specific role. User groups, this is what you're used to seeing as worker functions. Pretty much works the same way. The only thing different here is you can actually see the number of users, forms attached, and when it was created. If I wanted to click and open a record, I can click on it, I can open it, I can see who's assigned to it, if they're assigned any worker trainings or anything like that, who created it. I can also come in here and I can create a user group, which is different. It's like a function. And say I want to create welders, can give it a description. I can pick any of the people who I want to say all of these people are welders and select. If I wanted to assign any worker trainings to this group of welders, all I have to do is select add, and I want to give them all PPE training. And so now what I've told the system, oh, I have welders. Okay. Now I said my welders 2.0, they all have to get PPE training. When you guys get the database, you are going to see all of your org unit areas and locations. They are combined. You're going to see it more like a hierarchy as opposed to actually seeing it in that, like that table. So you'll be able to see all of your org units and step down to all your areas and locations.